Hello, I'm Jan Mulvey and you're watching the Redmen TV.
And that's what I hope doesn't happen.
Most certainly. Actually, a few interesting points to come out of that press conference. Another one of the big points. Obviously, we're going mental over transfer speculation. If you want to know the latest on that, do check out our transfer speculation rumour roundup show, whatever it's called. I'll add the link there. Is the fact that Brendan Rodgers basically said that it's possible that before they even set off this tour, there could be one, maybe two players lined up. Again, I'm paraphrasing, but just watch it.
Are there likely to be any new signings before you head off?
We hope so. There certainly won't be as many as what's been labelled out there. I think the reality is that for players to be associated with Liverpool is great, but the reality is we've only made 3-4 enquiries about players, and we hopefully can close out one deal this week and maybe two, but certainly hopefully we can do one and then look to it over the course of the pre-season.
Are you able to clarify some situations? Granero, there are reports that you've had a bid turned down by Real Madrid. What is the situation there?
The situation is very simple. I will never speak about targets and possible players, and it's not something that I like to do, to be honest. So all I will say is that there's been a whole raft of players linked with coming to Liverpool, and there's very, very few of them that are actually real targets for us. So, but like I say, I don't like to speak about that.
There have also been players linked with possible moves away, and Andy Carroll has been linked with a possible loan move to AC Milan. What's your take on that?
He's a good player, Andy. So he'll always be linked, whether he's here or not. So listen, it's something I've spoken to Andy on his holiday. So he knows exactly where he stands. I've had the chance to speak to a lot of the players, So no, he's a very good young player, and like I say, he'll be linked with clubs like that because he is such a good player.
Has there been any inquiry from him, Andy?
No, I haven't had anything from him at all. No.
How big a part then is Andy in your future plans for the forthcoming season?
I think initially it's just really about assessing the group and the squad and looking at the strengths. You never know entirely until you come in, and obviously the pre-season is a little bit broken this year because of players away and from the championships and recovering. But certainly, come the beginning of the season, I hope to have the squad that we can take through. Because obviously after August, that's you then through until January. So it'll just be the case of piecing it together through until then and building a squad that hopefully can compete at the top end of the league, and that's ideally what I want to do.
Yeah, I mean it's nice to hear sort of positive things with regards to the transfer market, because we've speculated that we wouldn't see any movement until at least August.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think a lot of people think the same, don't they, to be honest, Paul? It's nice, as you say, to hear Brendan Rodgers come out and be positive about it. And I think it's Liverpool as a whole is moving in that direction in a lot of ways. And it's all coming down from the manager and the owners and stuff. It's good to see. So who do you reckon it's going to be?
Well, what we've been told, we actually were fortunate enough to get a little bit of it. We've been behind the walls, so to speak, today. And we did pose the question, and obviously there's things about Ramirez is apparently not true. Apparently though, none of the speculation's right so far. Take from that what you will. So I don't know. We could if it's no one we've heard, it could be anyone, couldn't it? I'm hoping Kaka.
Well, fair play. I think what's interesting is I was obviously sat there in the press conference, and the way that I took Brendan Rodgers, I was thinking he's talking about squad players here, these 3 or 4 players.
Really? Because for me, I mean, I was the other way. The way linking that into the way he's talked in general, it says to me that we're after quality. You know what I mean? We've got loads of players who can do a job.
Yeah, I would say I took from the press conference that, but obviously listening to him last week on TalkSport, I thought exactly the same as what you did, and obviously speaking afterwards to a few people round and about, I think I agree with you now, is that we are looking for first team players, and hopefully they're going to make a big difference to our start of season as well.
It's interesting as well that he talks about not having wheelbarrows full of money, and I think that's important, because I genuinely don't think Liverpool have got, I don't think we've got bottoms. We're not a Man City, but it's important to make it known that whilst we're in the market for players, we won't be held to ransom over anyone. And I think
we've already done that already this summer, haven't we?
And I think the general vibe from the club is that Liverpool are looking to spend smarter this time around. Damien Comolli seems to have been the fall guy for the signings that went before, and we're looking to basically say, I mean, the idea being that Stuart Downing, there's no problem with signing Stuart Downing, but you don't want to be paying £20 million for Stuart Downing. You should be paying 12.
That's it. We're essentially going to get value for money, and we're going to pay market value and not above. That's the message that Liverpool are setting across.
I think that's exactly where the Sigurdsson things falls into it. Is that Liverpool Football Club do not think he's worth, wages wise, the money that Spurs are willing to pay him. And fair play, I don't want to see Liverpool breaking any wage structure that we've now put in place for a player that isn't going to be a worldie when he steps foot into that starting 11, and I think that's great, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, it's a step forward for us, isn't it? And
I think the point is something you made to me was with regards to the transfer stuff, because it's so hard to keep things under wraps. Although reportedly, Rodgers is talking, we might have a player in before we go. That we've not heard any rumours about it suggests that it's not as far along
as Rodgers would probably like us to believe. As I said, I mean, what did he say? 95% of all transfers get leaked at some point. Well, if we haven't been linked with the right people now, we're not that far along.
Yeah, we've actually found some decent people to do business with for a change, and not the Dave Whelans of this world who just can't stop with all of that. But no, it's obviously it is exciting. It's nice to hear. It's nice to hear the manager talk about stuff like that, because I say it gets you excited. Because there's one thing here in the papers talk about it, and people on Twitter and stuff, and us, you know what I mean. But it's nice when the manager says, well, we're looking towards this. So boss, double thumbs up, Brendan. So far, so good.